Welcome back to Live Happily Ever Now. I am your host, Carrie Briggs. Today we're going to talk about the sacred delusion, the audacity to claim every single thing that you want. And this might be a little out there for some people, and it's very along the lines of what I talked about last week. But wanting, creating, and knowing what you are meant for can almost feel delusional. And so many people get stuck in this. They're like, what do you mean? I just want it hard enough. And I'm going to go both ways here. There is this deep knowing and manifestation. It's in law of attraction. It is in, all of these incredible things that if you want it, you embody it, it is meant for you. Like it will come to you. If you want it bad enough, it'll come to you. And yes, there's a lot of truth to that. But there's also the nervous system piece too, that if we can want it bad enough, but until we feel safe enough to receive it, we're not going to receive it. So we're going to push it away. So this energy of being delusional in trust and delusional in your surrender to your knowing, to your path. So I have lived my life essentially for the past couple of years through the lens of delusion. That I have this desire. And here's the thing, too. We would not be given these desires if they were not meant for us. We would not be given these desires. They would not be put on our heart. They would not be put on our visions. They would not be put in our field if they were not meant for us. But sometimes we get so stuck in the how that I am here. I'm in point A. I have never, written a paragraph to, I have to write a book. You're telling me I'm going to write a book? So we kind of get stuck in that is so far out there. I don't understand how that's ever going to happen. But when we go at the things that we want, our manifestations from a place of delusion, but it's safe delusion. It's delusion that it feels safe in your nervous system. You can create very rapidly. There's a lot of pieces too when it comes to your human design, to your, if you've had a lot of trauma, regulating your nervous system, all of these things. But the biggest thing that I want to point out is when you want something, when you know that it's on your heart. So you want to write a book. Okay, this is something that's been on your heart for a very long time. You have this delusional audacity or sacred audacity, sacred delusion that you're going to write a book. You're going to be a New York Times bestseller. You have this knowing, this deep, deep, deep knowing. You're going to be a New York Times bestseller. You've never written a book. You've never written a paragraph. You hated writing in school, but you know with every ounce of your being, you are going to write a book. But you can sit there and you can question it and be like, okay, don't know how I'm going to get there, but I trust it. That is how you get there. But if you go, I could never do that. That seems really fucking hard. Cool, awesome. You've instantly shut off that venue or that mode or that vision that you feel deeply. And then it keeps on coming back. It keeps on coming back. I know I want to write this book, but I don't know how. I know I want to write this book, but I don't know how. But when you live from a place of delusion and safety within your body, you expand greatly and start calling in those things that you are working for, that you want, all of your desires. This is what I talk about in the vision board workshop. So it's safe to receive an advanced vision board workshop. We work deeply using neuroscience and the vision integration method. And I use a lot of the energy work that I do, the clearing that I do, and this nervous system regulation piece. So things that I've called in recently, just over the past couple of weeks, with this delusional energy, using the VIM method and using the nervous system regulation. My partner sparked a conversation with me a couple of weeks ago of, sometimes I substitute and I could not just get behind working for so many hours for so little money. It just did not make sense to me. And I'm like, fucking watch me do this. And I was able to, I knew with every ounce of my being, I did not know how the money was not going to come in. I did not know when it was going to come in. I didn't know which avenue it was going to come in, but I just knew I was going to make more money from home than I was to go leave the house for 9 hours and make $100. I knew with every ounce of my being. And I kept on saying, watch, I'm going to make more money today than I am if I were to leave the building. I'm going to make more money than I am if I leave. I'm going to make more money if I just knew it every ounce of my being when I felt myself getting nervous or scared or disbelief set in that there's no way I'm going to make money. How am I going to make money? What am I going to do? I just kept on sitting with myself. I know I'm going to make money today. I know with every ounce of my being, I have delusional trust, delusional surrender to spirit, to God, to universe, to my dragons, to everything that I know I'm going to make money today. I know that with every ounce of my being. So I was led down a path of doing something. I released something and a little bit of money came in that way, and that was beautiful. That was great. And then out of nowhere, a paid in full client came in within 15 minutes, paid in full. And it came from a space of, I knew with every ounce of my being that I am meant to do this work. I knew that I was going to make money that day. I knew with everything in me. I had delusional, I was completely and utterly delusional in the fact that I knew I was going to make money, but I didn't know how. And we get so much flack. I don't know where that weird word came from, but that came through. The spiritual entrepreneurs, spiritual humans, healers, all of this, the work that we do, how we create money can sometimes defy logic. Actually, most of the time, it defies logic because we can create and bring in things that do not make sense to the logical brain. I market in a way that doesn't make sense to logical people. I have followers. I create income from a space that doesn't make sense to logical thinking people. I don't have fancy sales pages. I don't have funnels. I don't have all these things. But I know that my work will call in the people that are meant to work with me in a way that makes sense very, very deeply. There is no questioning. There is no wondering. It is delusional trust and delusional surrender within myself. And within that, there is so much regulation. I was called to work and hire somebody else to get me to my next level within my business. And I knew with every ounce of my being, again, we're going to call him the delusion here, that I was meant to work with this person. This person has been on my vision board for years and years and years. Working with her has been on for years. And the other day, I was like, now's the time. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen. I don't know how I'm going to pay her. I don't know when, where, what, whatever. But I know with every ounce of my being that this is the moment that I am going to do this. Now, my human self completely and utterly freaked out. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing this? But my higher self, my guides, my dragons, my everything says this is what is next. This expansion, she's going to get you to that next level of expansion. We don't know how. You don't need to know how. You don't need to know how you're going to create these spaces, but knowing with every ounce of your being, trusting your body, listening to your intuition, that is how you get to that next level. It is how you get to that next level. So anyway, I reached out to her. She told me the price. She sent me the invoice. Very, very, very stretchy for my nervous system. And I started feeling the fear creep in, the fear of I can't do this, this isn't safe. But again, that other part of me, my highest self, my deepest knowing within myself, that delusional part of me is like, this is what is meant to happen for your next level. This is your expansion. Because here's the thing, expansion and growth are messy. It is painful. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to feel amazing. Amazing. When I call in and I receive $1 million. Of course I can hold $1 million. Of course, if somebody handed me $1 million right now, it'd be incredible. It'd be amazing. And I ask you this. This is the question I ask, and I ask my clients too. If you were just going about your day, not even wondering, and like you had previously checked your bank account and there's like $300 in there, and you're just going in to check your bank account and you see that there's $1 million in your bank account, what is your immediate reaction? What was your immediate reaction? For me, one of the first thoughts I would have is, this is a mistake. This is not mine. And then I'd freak out and like all these things. And then like I'd be like calling the bank and trying to figure it out because I'm like, I'm going to go to jail, blah, 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 blah. And the reason I give you that example is because so many of us are like, oh, if it comes in, I can hold it. But the reality is sometimes it comes in and we can't hold it. We freak out. So this is why I talk about safety, capacity, power, because if you don't feel safe in your body, you're not going to have the capacity to call things in, and then you're not going to be able to have more power. All these things, power meaning like growth, abundance, all these things, we're holding them, we're calling them and holding them. So when you come up with the delusional aspect, delusionally knowing you're going to receive $1 million. Well, if you're delusionally in that space of I'm going to receive $1 million, it shows up in your bank account and you start freaking the fuck out. Your body won't be able to hold it. You called it in. Awesome. There's the delusional piece. You called it in. But what if you call the bank and they're like, oh, this was a mistake, and then it's gone, or you have a huge expense come in, or, whatever. But so we create these scenarios where we think we want the thing. We're deeply wanting the thing, but we don't feel safe enough to receive it. This is where the stretchy piece comes in, is I have constantly been in this area of my life for the past really 8 years of stretching my capacity for more wealth, for more love, for more abundance, for more clients, for more visibility, for more growth, all of these things. I have very large desires and I am delusional about knowing that I'm going to create them. And it's funny because I go around and be like, I'm famous. I'm fucking famous. I'm going to be famous. I know I'm writing a book. I know I'm going to make millions. I know I'm going to be the first one in my family to make millions. Like, I know all of these things. It doesn't make sense now. You look at where I am now, it doesn't make sense. But I know that I am deeply ambitious. My second trait is fucking watch me, bro. Like, you say I can't do something, I'm going to do it 10 times harder and faster. And I have done so much work around expressing expansion and safety and surrender and embodiment that I know it's going to work. I know because I've created 5-figure months out of thin air. I know because I've gone viral for no reason. I know because I've called in clients out of thin air. I know because I work with dragons and I've been proven over and over and over again that the more that I trust, the more that I surrender, the more that I'm taken care of. I have managed to completely and utterly provide for my children solely for 2 years. It doesn't make sense how money comes in sometimes, but it's always taken care of. And I've been shown over and over and over again that the more that we surrender, the more that we trust, the more that we know, we are constantly being guided and shifted towards our desires. Our desires are put on our heart for a reason. They're not there just to be all willy-nilly. They're not, like, you're not going to be sitting on the floor one day and the next be like, I know that I have to be a doctor, unless there's a reason that is your calling, unless you're being called in that direction. I have talked about it on so many episodes, the moments where I'm like, I'm doing this. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I'm doing this. Becoming a Kundalini instructor. I was like literally sitting there on the floor in the deepest depression of my life after my divorce, not being able to do it. And I heard a voice, go take a Kundalini class. Go on YouTube right now and find Kundalini. I had never done Kundalini before. In that class, the meditation right after that, my guide said, you're going to become a Kundalini instructor. I said, the fuck I am. Absolutely not. A couple weeks later, guess what program I was enrolled in? A trauma-informed Kundalini teacher class. I didn't know it. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't have the money to do that. Guess what? The money fucking showed up. The universe is like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. And taking that class helped me get through the most depressive time of my life. I released so much trauma within my body I didn't know was stuck. But I had delusional trust. I just knew with every ounce of my being, this is what I was meant to be doing. I have the same thing with meeting my partner, the current partner. I was like completely and utterly, I'm like, I'm not going to be in a relationship. I am done with the relationships. I have had a lot of shitty relationships. I'm done. I'm very content being by myself. And then I'm sitting on the couch one day and they're like, go download Tinder. I'm like, why? I don't want to do that. Within 15 minutes, I met my partner. And it's been the most incredible relationship I've ever had in my entire life. The same thing with my children, the same thing with the house. I talked about my house last time. There are so many instances working with my mentor, the one I've been working with for years, meeting my friend, like all of these little things. My body, my intuition, my desires are so strong that I have delusional trust within them, that I know without a shadow of a doubt that it's all going to work out. We don't have to know the how. We just have to know the what and the why. Why do we want this so deeply? What is it that you are calling to, that you're so, what are those desires? And sometimes too, we're led, we have a desire, we have a vision, we have a goal, we have a thing that's been on our heart. Maybe it's a specific house, or it is writing a book, or it is being on stage, and you start going down that path. But on that path of following that path, you are directed towards a different way. But you would have never found this direction over here if you had not originally followed this path. Delusional trust and surrender. Delusional trust and surrender. I cannot express it enough. Everybody asks how I've manifested, how I've created, how I've done everything that I've ever done in my life. It is from a space of the audacity to be delusional. And then I do use very specific things to help me manifest those goals. I will have that delusion of, I'm going to create and I'm going to sign a 10K client. Painful. I don't know how it's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. So I start following down these paths. I use the VIM. I use a vision integration method consistently many, many, many times throughout the year when I'm trying to create something really rapidly. I use that. I use the nervous system regulation. Okay, that 10K client, that feels stretchy. That feels scary. How do I regulate myself right now? How do I remind my body that I'm calm? This is safe. This is a desire. I'm meant to have this. I already know I'm meant to have it. I already know that it's meant for me. But now it's regulating and calming down that the human self, the trauma self, that is, we've tried calling this in before and it's never worked. We've done this and we failed. We've done this and we failed. We've tried all of these different things and we failed. Past says the patterns that we've repeated, we have failed, we've never received it. So now it's the space of delusional trust and then reminding your nervous system, this is meant for us. This is meant for us. And if it's not that, it's something better. If it's not this, something better. And that audaciousness, that audacity, that delusional, sacred delusion has helped me manifest everything in my life. To support, to money, to clients, to love, to joy, to happy, to abundance, to moments, to free coffee, to gifts, to whatever it is. That delusional audacity, audacious, whatever you want to say, mixed with the nervous system regulation, has helped me not only call things in, but keep them and expand them. I had to walk myself through expansion last night, paying the next person I'm working with. She's helping me upgrade a whole bunch of things in my business. And it was really scary for me. It was very scary for me. But I sat there in this expansion, and it's not fear for failure. It's fear of letting go of the version I had to be to get to where I'm going next. And that's why a lot of people get stuck too, is we get so attached to the versions of the versions of us who we had to create in order to survive. And when it comes to letting go of that version, that can feel like death. And it is a death. It's an ego death. So expansion into your next version can feel stretchy, can feel unsafe. But that's where the safety piece comes in. That's where the nervous system regulation comes in. Because unless you feel safe, you will not expand your capacity and you will not call in your power. You could call in the things that you want, but they're not going to stay. Or they're going to stay for a minute and you're constantly going to be this up, down, up, down, up, down. It's about time we start going up and we start stabilizing and going up and up and up and up. But in order to do that, we have to create the safety within our body first. So Safe to Receive is an advanced vision board workshop. It is February 24th, 25th, and 26th, 2026 at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. This is the last time that I'm teaching this class live. This is the last time I'm teaching this class live. So if you want in on this workshop while I'm teaching it live, you will get access to me through that week through a Telegram group. And then if you're listening to this episode after, you can still buy this workshop. You still get a whole bunch of medicine, a whole bunch of downloads. You still get access to the class. You just don't get that live piece. So there is a lot of beautiful medicine within this program. And I'm very excited to see what you all create time and time and time again as you go through Safe to Receive. So I love you. Thank you so much. And I will see you next week.